Teenagers are prone to throwing their lives away. There has been a rise in deadly crimes being committed by teenagers in the last 20 years or so worldwide. Taking another person's life tends to get you jailed for life. Although these teenagers are well aware of this, they still go on and commit the murders, which is why we are going to take you to where the hearing takes place. In today's video, we will take you to the courtroom, where we will look at 5 guilty teenage convicts and their reactions to being given life imprisonment. Some of these convicts aren't as apologetic as they should be. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Without further ado, let us get right into the video. Number 5. Nicholas Lindsay. Young Nicholas Lindsay had a rough past. Records show that Lindsay has a history of non-violent offenses like grand theft and trespassing. Despite going to class on the day of the shooting, he had missed 40 days of the school overall. Kevin Gordon, a former administrator of Gibbs High School, talked with Lindsay about skipping class. According to the principal and his reading interventionist, the teenage suspect always followed directions. He was described as a typical teen who strove for that teacher's attention to do his best, by Karen Morse, one of his teachers. Lindsay seemed to be a different kid when she wasn't in school. Lindsay had a gang moniker, according to his Facebook page. Officer David Crawford, 46, responded to a report of a suspicious person late one night on February 21, 2011. The caller claimed a man hopped the fence while holding a brick in his backyard. After seeing the object when Officer Crawford arrived, he exited his car. A fellow officer, Donald J. Ziegler, observed and reported an exchange of gunfire at 10:37 p.m. According to authorities, Ziegler discovered Crawford resting next to his cruiser. He reached for a notepad and was shot several times at the close range. Around Tampa Bay, more than 200 cops from various agencies descended on the city to join the enormous search for the culprit. On March 19, 2012, jury selection and testimony started the following day. The goal of Lindsay's defense team was to persuade the jury that manslaughter had occurred. While prosecutors, particularly Pinellas Pasco State Attorney Bernie McCabe, framed this as an intentional murder of a law enforcement officer by stating that he shot Crawford 5 times and did not skip a beat, they painted Lindsay as a fearful young person. On March 23rd, Lindsay was found guilty of killing Crawford and given a life sentence without the possibility of parole. During the verdict, Lindsay was seen laughing, which pretty much sums up what he has turned his life into a joke. Number 4. John R. Freeman. In 2013, teenager John R. Freeman was called a disgusting animal by the father of Isabella M. Tennant for killing the 5-year-old kid in her great-grandparents' Niagara Falls house. Freeman received a 22-year-to-life term. The sentence was given by Niagara County Judge Matthew J. Murphy III, and it was the harshest one he could have given under the conditions of a July 3rd plea agreement. It was just under the maximum sentence of 25 years to life for second-degree murder, to which Freeman had admitted guilt in killing the Cheektowaga girl on August 26, 2012. Freeman expressed regret in court. He faced the girl's family and said, "I'm terribly sorry for the family," fighting back the tears. "Simply sorry. There's nothing else I can say." Deputy District Attorney Holly E. Sloma clarified that she hopes Freeman is never paroled. She reported to Murphy that Freeman was calm, cool, and collected, charming as he could be with the detectives when the Niagara Falls police questioned him. He described brutally how he killed a helpless 5-year-old girl with his bare hands. After being entrusted to watch Isabella in her great-grandparents' house, Hank and Sharon Lassell on 6th Street in Niagara Falls, Freeman, 17, killed her. Crystal Walker, the girl's mother, had left the youngster in the care of the Lassells so she could go to work at a bar in Niagara Falls. After the Lassells went to bed, the girl was left with Freeman, a neighbor, and family acquaintance. Number 3. Antonio Barbeau. Another case which happened back in 2013. On Monday, August 12, 2013, Antonio Barbeau, one of the 2 adolescents charged with the murder of an older woman from Sheboygan Falls, was given a life sentence with a 36-year parole eligibility period. On June 24th, Barbeau entered a not guilty plea to first-degree intentional homicide in the Sheboygan County courtroom. A plea bargain included that for allegedly using a hammer and hatchet to bludgeon Barbara Olson, 78, to death at her Sheboygan Falls home in September 2012. Barbeau and Nathan Pape are accused of first-degree intentional homicide. Barbo altered his not guilty plea of mental illness or defect plea to not contest as part of the plea agreement. In 36 years, Barbo will be able to apply for parole. He gave testimony at Pape's trial as well. A psychiatrist had testified Barbo has cognitive issues stemming from him being struck by a car when he was 10, possibly affecting his behavior. He could not complete his statement in court on Monday, so his attorney did it for him. I am aware that I suppress my feelings, although I don't know why it doesn't mean I don't care. Someone's mother, grandmother, sibling, or friend was taken away. I wasn't allowed to do that. I've damaged so many lives because of this one decision, Barbo remarked. In 2048, when the now 14-year-old will be 50, Barbo will be able to apply for parole. He reacted sadly to the verdict, but God knows what was going on inside his head at the time. Number 2. Andrea Cook. When Andrea Cook was given an 11-year jail term in connection with 2 carjacking instances, neither she nor her mother sobbed in the courtroom on April 9, 2018. On Monday, with her face contorted in pain, there was no need for bailiffs to take her from the courtroom once more. Cook anticipated the outcome. As opposed to last summer, when her former defense lawyer had informed her that she wouldn't be going to jail, only for Circuit Judge Matt Foxman to hand down a 20-year prison term. In addition to the 11 years, Foxman also mandated that Cook serve 20 years of probation, which would run concurrently with her prison term. As a result, Cook will still be on probation while incarcerated. I apologize for my actions to the victim's family and victims. I am a changed person. I did learn my lesson from all this, Cook said. Cook told the judge she wanted to straighten out her life. I want to inspire younger girls and youth not to make the same mistakes I made, Cook said, and I want to better myself and put this behind me. Foxman gave her some words of encouragement. I think you've got good in you, and I think you've got potential. Don't lose sight of that, Foxman said. Number 1. Jennifer Mee. Mee had met a 22-year-old man she had met online in 2010. She got 2 of Mee's friends to rob and shoot the victim after luring him to a deserted house. In the murder and robbery, they obtained $50. Mee set him up. Under Florida law, it made her just as guilty as the shooter. Mee met Shannon Griffin, the victim, and then led him to the rear of an empty house when her 2 companions, Lamont Newton and Larry Redford, were waiting with a .38, nominally 9.65 mm caliber revolver. Police did not know which suspect shot the victim 4 times, even though the victim had been shot. Mee, Redford, and Newton all lived together and were arrested within hours of the crime. John Trabina defended Mee during her murder trial. The prosecution played a taped conversation between Mee and her mother made while they were both in jail throughout the problem. Mee informed her mother during the conversation. I didn't kill anyone, I just planned everything. Mom, everything went wrong. After everything that occurred, Mom, things started to worsen. Additionally, scientists affirmed that Mee's DNA had been discovered on the victim's clothes. According to Mee's attorney, his client had schizophrenia. Despite the judge's request for a psychological assessment, it was decided that Mee was capable of standing trial. Her attorney also argued that Mee's hiccups showed Tourette's illness. In 2013, Mee was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to prison without parole. When the verdict was being read out, she was having hiccups uncontrollably. Her attorney moved for a new trial, which was subsequently denied. Even teenagers have it in them to take lives, and then they are surprised when they're given jail time for the rest of their lives. Shocking! Before you go, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on any of the new videos from us.